welcome back, everybody. This is Mog once more. Mogcast playing some Kerbal Space Program with you folks again today. And as you can see, this is already built. Not going to be much of a build phase. I was kind of testing some things, seeing how small I could make it, and this just ended up being too dang perfect to delete and start from scratch. So I'm pretty much just going to kind of go over the build real quick with you guys. We're building a lander that's going to be able to dock at our lunar station at the Mun, and be able to perform landings and then come back up to the station with rock samples, things like that. It'll be a single lander type deal. We won't be able to make multiple landing trips, but we should be able to make it back up to the station without an issue, and then refuel and go back down for additional landings. And it's a one-person crew here. As you can see, we got the normal Mark 1 control panel there, or control pod. The other things that we have on here is a set of mech jeb. We also have a ladder for hopefully getting him out of there. I think that'll work. This is a really squished design, as you might notice here. So as you can see, we have our docking port on the bottom. Now, the reason for this is because there's pretty much nowhere else we could fit this thing. But it does also allow us to actually attach the rest of our launcher to it. Now, if you recall, our launch vessel can launch up about 10 tons worth of payload. This guy's just shy of 8. So that shouldn't be a problem at all. Now, one thing I did want to do is actually change up the configuration of the solar panels here. So I'm going to do that real quick while I have it in here. Otherwise, this doesn't have much in the way of science instruments. It does have antennas, mainly for decoration. I didn't really feel like doing much else with it. So really, this thing is only a rock sampler. I haven't really put much else onto it. So why don't we go ahead, we're going to change this up and do this bit here. Now, the reason why I'm changing this up is to make sure that we can keep a charge while we're out and about, because with them just one directional, it's kind of tricky sometimes. You might run into situations where you can't see the sun, and if we have it facing two directions, at least that gives us a little more opportunity to catch some sunlight. So we're positioning them just like that. There should be slightly facing both forward and back, at least a little bit. Should catch some of the sun rays, I do believe. That should actually be pretty good for us, though, I think. It does have it can detach here and actually come back as a lander if it really needed to Kerbin. But yeah, so we've got landing legs. They should extend far enough. Yeah, no problems at all to dock or to get us landed. And it's a really light lander, all things considered. It does have a central tank in the middle here, one of the ones that are twice the size of these guys, and it's piped outwards. You can see out and both in to make sure that everything stays evenly flush. We have a couple of battery packs there. We have monopropellant, a single set of boosters right there that are aligned fairly well on the center of mass. I mean, that of course depends on how much fuel's in this thing, but I think we can make do with what we have here. So why don't we go ahead, we're going to grab our Launcher 1 sub-assembly. Connect it in. And I think we are going to need to strut this thing up a little bit. Where should we strut? We got a lot of extra struts on here. Let's go ahead and we're just going to take some of these off. Let's grab that. Toss that. It's such a light and compact little design. I really don't think we're going to need much in the way of struts on this thing. So let's see, we've also got the double struts here. We're gonna just take these out of there, and I think we're just gonna use a single strut assembly here. We're gonna go 4 times symmetry, bring it on in, and we're going to attach pretty much right there. Oh, that's gonna be odd. Is that gonna even work? Oh no, it's got some wings in the way. Super. Okay, well we can go a little shallower. We'll just start here. And how about right there? It'll be dead center in those lamps. That's odd. And then of course that thing will stay. Okay, why don't we do that? That's manageable. I think I'll keep that. That's fine. And that should hold this dang thing in place a bit. Okay. So with that all strutted up, let's double check our crew, because I don't want to take Jeb. I haven't flown these guys in this campaign at all, and the reason for that is I kind of want to keep them alive. Maybe one of these days we'll ship them up to one of the orbital stations and let them kind of run things on the stations, but for now we're just going to kind of be rolling with it. Who should we send up today? Who do we got that hasn't flown in a while? Phantom Pat and where was the other Pat? The other Pat's in here somewhere. Phantom Pat. Whatever. Or no, I think he's on mission, so that's fine. Why don't we go ahead and send up Fun Gun? It's been a while since you've been in a mission, hasn't it? I've had you up, though. Once or twice. Oh, you're an ace pilot, though. I kind of want to keep you. Whatever. I think you'll like this mission. That's fine. We're upgrading you from ace pilot status. You're no longer just set aside awaiting the aeronautics division to start building planes. We're gonna send you up in a rocket, good sir. So let's save this thing up and get it out on the launch pad, eh? Okay, we are out on the launch pad here, and Fun Gun is in the pilot seat. I did have to go back into the lab there to double check and make sure that all of our pipes were actually set properly. That was one of the things that I was like, oh crap, I think I've messed that up in the past. We're just using or reusing a ship has kind of like broken struts and things like that, but it looks like everything should be fine here. The staging is all set. We shouldn't have any issues with this, I don't believe. So why don't we go ahead and get this mission underway. We are heading for the Mun. Let's take a peek here. Mun's over there, pretty much behind us. So we're going to be launching out, and maybe achieving an orbit before we get into position. We might have to go around an orbit to do it. Not a big deal. First, though, let's bring up that in our map view. Okay, so let's get this thing throttled up and setting SAS. So 3, 2, 1, engage! And release our docking clamps, and we are pushing up. So here we go. Now, the trouble is like I mentioned, this thing only has enough fuel in its lander, I do believe, for pretty much one drop to the surface of the Mun and one return to the station. Which means we need to have fuel available on the lunar station to actually get this thing up and out again, refueled and all that. So we're going to be working on that and trying to get that all set up, trying to get some tanks out to the station to get fueled up. I've got some ideas, I've got some thoughts on how to do that. Might be a little tricky, but I think we can make do. So we're getting there, pushing over 100 meters a second, about 2.5 kilometers up. As you can see, Fun Gun is somewhat disturbed by this, it seems. Sorry, Fun Gun. You're pretty courageous, but your stupidity was fairly high. So these ones are about to pop off there. There they go. Release those guys. Let's full throttle this bad boy and keep pushing ourselves on up. So we are cruising. Our speed is stabilizing and beginning to go back up. Right before our first stage of booster rockets here is about to get dropped. So I just realized this is episode 24, and I promised you guys another giveaway of Kerbal Space Program around the end of the season, which I said would, holding true to our normal things here, is going to be just 25-ish. Now, I'll probably end up still doing some KSP videos here and there, but I kind of want to switch things up. I feel like the channel's been a little stagnant lately with just doing Assassin's Creed for 31 episodes. God, that's like 6 weeks of episodes. And I know that was split up a bit with some XCOM, well, finishing that one off. These are just long games to play. So I kind of want to cut things back a bit. I kind of want to do some faster games, some quicker look-ats of, you know, like smaller titles. Ones that don't take, you know, 40-plus hours to complete. Ones that I don't feel like I'm burning out you guys as viewers on, because 31 episodes is a lot of episodes to keep up on if you guys are not really into it, obviously. I mean, not to say that I don't have people viewing them, but not a whole lot. It usually starts off a bit stronger with the views at the start of the season, and then drops off as we get deeper and deeper, which is kind of why I want to try some smaller ones. Oh, I'm getting a bit high on the kilometers there, so why don't we go ahead and start tilting this thing and building that orbital velocity. There we go. We're going to tilt down to about there, and these ones are about to come off as we continue to spin ridiculously, because apparently I can't build balanced crafts. Those ones get kicked off, and we are down to our 2 outer tanks and our core stage rocket. So we're pushing up here. Now, I have a lot of good games in mind that I want to play that I've enjoyed in the past, or ones that I've expected to enjoy and haven't got a chance to play yet. Was considering doing some, I just bought Gone Home. I know that's supposed to be a fairly short one, and people apparently either just love or hate that game, and I'm kind of curious which that'll be for me. So we might end up doing that. I kind of want to do Lone Survivor as well. In fact, I'm going to pull up my Steam catalog. While you guys are watching that, I hope you guys can still hear me. Oh gosh, I hope you guys can still hear me. Okay, I should be fine now. I just switched over to my Steam library on the second monitor so I could see. So we're at about 70 kilometers up. I'm going to go ahead and push down to the horizon and start pushing out our arc to get that building. As we are just coming up on the kilometer a second mark. We are just cruising, guys. Cruising. Okay. Yeah, we're building that arc. We're building that arc nice and well. And I think we are going to have enough time to pretty much, even with the arc extended, get that into an orbit and then actually just be arriving at the point where we want to be burning out toward the moon, or at least be early to it. So there we have that. Let me take a peek here on the other screen. Hopefully, I really hope my audio isn't cutting out when I switch windows here. Okay, so I've got Project Zomboid I kind of want to jump back into. I had a lot of fun doing those Let's Plays of Project Zomboid. They're quick, they're easy, because, like, you know, it's you die and you're done. You just restart a brand new character, and that can be a couple episodes here and there that I can toss together that I enjoy it. I went back, and there's been a lot of updates that have been done to it too in the recent months. So a lot of cool things going on there. They're gearing up. They added a whole new section of, well, actually it's like a whole new city. I mean, not so much like Moldrar or whatever the town was called from when I was playing before was a city, but it, you know, a large town, lots to explore. There's another almost equivalent size one there, and they've expanded the countryside. Looks like they're going to be expanding even more. Sounded like they wanted to do the fort that's around there, the military base that's nearby. Oh, view is going nuts. Let's go free, and we're about to. Oh crap! My bad. I let that go pretty far. Okay, well, whatever. I guess we'll have to make do. Ascending, descending, so if we burn north, I might be able to correct our percentages just a hair while we're here. Come on, ship. Let's go time warp and see if we can get you over there. Okay. Come on. Try not to break anything. Try not to. Okay. Why don't we turn on our engines just a hair, see if we can correct that a bit. 6, 5, 4, maybe? Okay, it's climbing back up. We're going to leave it as is. So about the point where we get out to here is when we're going to want to burn. So we're going to start burning this thing. And that's going to be the ascending, so I'm actually going to cruise that down just a hair as well and account for it a bit. Oh, that's not wanting to go. Okay, there we go. 2. Let's push that out. That should, okay, it's still at 2, but 1, that's good. That's better. That's pretty far ahead. If we do one of those guys, right there. What is that, at zeros? Okay. Yeah, okay. It's asking for about 769 delta V left in here. Now, we have next to none of that. So, let's move back over. Anyway, yeah, I've got Project Zomboid that I kind of want to play again. I kind of want to do some more Chivalry episodes with Shroom, who's got 1 episode up thus far on the channel. Hopefully you guys check it out. Show him a little love if you like. He's still fairly new to this. Like, I know my videos were no better at all, if not worse, when I first tried starting to do this kind of thing, and I've gotten more comfortable talking on the microphone. I'm hoping to get him involved in this, because I'd love to have somebody else here on the channel that I can play co-ops with, get you guys familiar with, and kind of get like a community going. I know we've got a small one here, but I'd like to expand. I really would. Would you guys be interested in Twitch at all? Do you guys watch Twitch TV? Familiar with this streaming service online to watch people playing games live? Because I'm considering doing some of it in kind of my downtime between actually having to like record and edit episodes. It'd be nice to just be able to turn something on and just go and be able to chat with you guys about it as we do it. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I mean, that's That's just me personally thinking, but let's see. If we do it... No, that's too far away. Okay, let's go, yeah, right. What's the closest we can get? Okay, I guess we'll just go for this. We'll get a parry apps. This will be an awkward one. Oh, that's pretty far out there. Okay, if we do that and push, that's closer. I'm actually gonna fast forward a little bit. Anyway, yeah, Twitch TV, considering doing it, considering getting all set up on that, maybe doing some streams on the weekends here or there for an hour or two, doing whatever. I'm gonna start burning now since we don't have much fuel in this engine, and we're gonna be dropping it any moment here. There it goes, drop those off. And it's asking for an estimated just a hair under a minute, so I think we started at about the right time for that. Let's actually get reoriented here now that we freaking can. Gain a little bit more control with this stupid rocket. I don't know why this thing likes to spin and twist as it's coming up in the atmosphere. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, so I'm considering doing some chivalry with Shroom, a bit of that, or whatever. Maybe with you guys, if you guys want to play and don't mind me recording it, that might be fun. That's just me talking out loud. Project Zomboid. I've got Starbound, might do that. I've also got the new XCOM Enemy Within expansion, so I've had somebody say they'd like to see that. I think that was Joseph Shortall, I do believe, one of our other wonderful subscribers here on the channel. So might end up doing a run through of that sooner or later here. I've really enjoyed it. I played through it once myself. Actually, I'm on like the very last mission, just kind of pushing things out and prolonging the game. Just doing some missions, trying to upgrade one of my mechs. But anyway, thinking about possibly doing that. I've got what else have I got here? I wonder. Gone Home, like I mentioned, might be fun. There's some other ones on here too. Oh, I did pick up Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, which I hear is quite the tale, and somewhat emotional, and not terribly long. So I might end up doing more games like that. I do want to do Lone Survivor. I have been wanting to do that one on the channel for a while because I never ended up finishing it myself, and that's a fun, kind of creepy, Silent Hill-esque 2D survival game. Oh my gosh, I had a blast with that game. It's tough, like, and a bit confusing. You know, in the same vein of, like, older survival kind of horror games, it can be a bit confusing at times. So, might do that. But let's get our node set up here and get in for a burn. So we're going to come in on the station here. I'm going to go in, not quite that far, I guess. I'm going to come in a bit further out from it. Maybe about 500-ish kilometers in the same orbital direction as the Lunar OMPL-1, just to kind of get an idea and kind of let it fall into place, and then we'll make our arrangements for actually coming in there. So, time warp, let's find our node. $20 says it's right over there. I know that wasn't really a great bet. How could you guys have even bet against it, you know? Whatever. I'm just talking. It's all good. So we're coming up here. I'm going to scroll down on my list. God, I hope you guys can hear me when I'm actually out of window here. It's still recording and everything, so I assume it's picking up the audio still. But yeah, wishful thinking. I hope it works out. I would hate to have just these cutouts of audio. And maybe I will. Maybe it's already done. The damage is done. Okay, we're coming in nice and quick here. I've also got Delver, which is a new one that came out. It's whoa, better start that burn. It's another roguelike. I really have been getting into these roguelikes as it seems that the gaming community as a whole has been in the late last year or so. And they've really been cruising along, got a lot of popularity. It seemed right about the time when DayZ came out. And then Rust, of course, recently was another one that's a roguelike. And I guess when I say roguelike, I kind of mean permadeath. Roguelike's a little different, I suppose. Right? There's a differentiation there. Roguelikes are not just permadeath, I suppose. But I've got Deadlight. I'm looking at my list here. Dark Souls Prepare to Die might be fun, but that could be another lengthy, frustrating game. Okay. So let's go ahead. We're going to zip over here to our other node, which is somewhere. Probably not where we're heading. Okay. I'm going to find that node real quick. It's going to be back this way, I betcha. Right about... yeah. Okay. Right there. Now, I'm going to zoom on in here, make sure we don't miss this one, and we're going to get ready to actually come into the station. 6 minutes, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and coming on in. Not going to take much at this point. We'll have more than enough fuel to do this. So the way that I'm thinking about pulling off the refueling station here is basically just building an attachment where this would go, and just being able to dock whatever we have left for fuel straight into the station. So it actually just picks up as much fuel as possible, because building just the payload up here past this point with the intended fuel, I can get next to nothing up. It's a tight margin with the engines we have. So okay, we are in here. Let's go ahead and set this as target, figure out how far we're off about by a degree. So that's at the descending node. So we're going to set up and burn north to actually correct that, because that's descending means we're starting to go down below its orbit, as well as ascending means we're starting to cruise up above its orbit in degrees. So we're going to correct that here. Come on. There it is. Okay. We've got that there. That should be up for us on the nav ball. Because at the 0 mark is where north is. The red line, that's north. Coming on here. I know I'm just jumping back and forth between game here and talking about the future stuff for the channel, so I hope you guys don't mind my scatterbrainedness. 5.1 meters a second is what it's going to take here for this correction. Burn, almost went a little too fast. Now, I should also say that we're docking this thing up at the station. This is going to be an episode all on its own. Tomorrow we're going to be going down to the surface, picking a spot to land, and getting some rock samples to bring back up to our lab, and we're going to be sending that back to Kerbal. I know it's not worth quite as much doing it that way instead of actually returning a craft to actually get the full benefit of that, but pushing further out and getting these things set up is kind of kind of what we're after, all in all. So there's that. Okay, didn't quite make the burn perfect. That's okay. So we're getting pretty close to being in line with the orbit of the station so far. So what would happen? How close? Oh. Okay, fairly far away. Let's reconnect those. Figure out... so we would have to come all the way to that side there. Bring that in just a hair. How close? We can line up. Right, whoa, come on now. Carefully, carefully. 5.2 kilometers, that's not bad. I feel like we can get closer. 3.8, okay. So there's that. Let's get set up on this node while we start getting ready to look at my list again here. I'm only in the D's. I'm like jumping over and scrolling down a bit. But yeah, Delver's a pretty fun one. You basically, it almost looks like Minecraft, but you go through pre-generated dungeons and just try to get as far as you can. So there's that. I've got... what else do I have that could be fun? Don't Starve. Been considering doing that one. Oh, Skyrim, of course. I've been talking about that one. I can do Skyrim episodes. A YOLO run where as soon as I die, that character and that set of missions, I guess, is over. I delete the character and we start one fresh if we want to keep going at the time being. I also want to play Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. I'm not going to do Far Cry 3 because it's another one of those super lengthy ones, but Blood Dragon, I guess, is like a couple hours. That could be a blast. I think a couple of good episodes of that, and that would actually, I would be cool with that because it would expand my library a bit. FTL would be another one that I think would be fun. I'd like to do Risk of Rain, but capturing it seems to be an issue with Fraps. I don't seem to be able to do it quite right. I might have to look into some other capture software to actually get that going. Okay, I'm not playing the game. I am looking at my thing. Nope, we're gonna fast forward. We're gonna get this thing going too fast there for a moment. What are you? Why alarm clock? Why? Go away. Okay, so coming on in about an hour and a half, an hour, half an hour, and slow that shit down. Slow it down a bit more. And okay, let's burn this thing on in. And boop. So let's stop it right there. We're about 0.5 meters a second, delta V off. Not a big deal, that actually got us a little closer, 2 kilometers in there. Okay. I have Legend of Dungeon, I have Legend of Grimrock. I have Mark of the Ninja. I installed that one. I thought that could be a fun one to do. McPixel, I haven't really played or seen too much on that, but I do have it, and I kind of been wanting to check it out. That was gifted to me by a good friend, so we might end up doing that. Oregon Trail, the director's cut, I have, which is not Oregon Trail like the state. It's Oregon like human organs. It's an Oregon Trail zombie game, which is on Steam, and it's pretty fun. Oh god, okay, we came in a little fast there. I'm going to bring up my rendezvous window, and we are right there for it. Let's get that thing targeted. Now, we're facing the prograde marker on our relative velocity there, so we're going to flip on over. Closest approach is in about 25 seconds, so we should have time to flip this over and kill off 36 meters a second delta V in 10 seconds. 5 seconds. Okay. Let's slow us down. Okay, there we go. We are relatively stable there. I'm gonna kick that one off because we don't need that much weight and everything pushing us back. So let's figure out where we need to be. I'm gonna switch this to a chase view to figure out, or to keep orientation proper on here. That should be about right there. So let's flip it over and start facing our facing the station. The Lunar OMPL-1 is where we are going. It's gonna be right above us. There it is. Closest approach. Let's cut that that down there. I'm trying to basically get the prograde to be as close as possible, and watch this number here. Okay, there we go. Closest approach about 240-ish meters from this thing, a quarter of a kilometer away. That's a pretty dang close approach. Now, what I'm also going to do while we're here is I'm going to kick off this tank, since we don't need it here, and this wasn't built to be docked with it, since in fact we can't dock with it. So let's do that. That got me a little closer. Should have pushed that guy away a bit, so I guess we'll see what happens. But it's going to float away from us, and we won't have to worry too much about it at all. Now, I am going to start being able to use my RCS. Now, as you saw in the beginning of this, I do have that set up properly this time. We are going to control from the opposite side. Make sure that doesn't flip around on us. What are you? Why are you backwards controls? Chase controls. There we... No, you're still backwards. Why are you backwards? Don't be mean. Control from here. Okay, there we go. We're good. We're good. There's the station. So as you can see, we've basically flipped over our orientation of this thing, so that I'll be actually controlling as if the what are you? Why are you? Stop fighting me, SAS. Stop it. Just knock it off. Oh, I was in the other mode. That's what I was doing. Being dumb. Being full of dumb. Okay. Zipping on in. We're gonna speed this thing up. Cruise on in, because we are going pretty darn slow for this, all things considered. We've got our lights on. We're going to be docking at the very bottom of the station, is how this is going to go. Now, I am going to use just... Oh, too much. Too much engines. Too much. Are we still going away? We are still going... No, we're going closer. Okay, whatever. Screw these engines. Too powerful. We are going full mode this way. And I am still controlled from there, so we need to flip around, actually. Turn on SAS, keep that going. How is my electricity? It's going down a bit, but we do still have some, so that's fine. Okay, now we're in position. I should be able to do this no problem. That's perfectly fine. Got it into about a 50-kilometer difference in distance here. And cruising on it, I do believe, to the correct side. That looks like the docking ring side. Sure is. And that's where we're going. Cruise on down there. We're going to target this thing as soon as we can. Come on. You can grab it. It's fine. Don't be scared. It's just a docking port. Grab the damn docking port. Oh, I'm in time warp. That's why. There we go. Flip it around town. And then we're going to make sure that we're fairly well aligned. At least decently. Flip back over. And correct that a bit. Okay, we're going to skip across until we're about even. That looks about right. So let's bring this back over. Push forward. Recenter ourselves a bit there. Turn on our better, our a bit more accurate, what the heck's it called? Precision mode. That's what the words I'm looking for. Them's are the words. Okay, how's our orientation overall? Not bad. Not terrible. Turn on that. We're gonna scooch up. And we're still wanting to go left just a hair. In the meantime, though, let's get that a little closer, not quite as far. Oh, bring that speed down a bit. Don't want to go down. We're going very, very slow at this point. Cruise it up, 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 up. Turn off everything. We are looking solid. Boom. We have our lander attached. And we are looking well. So yeah, next goal is we're going to be bringing this thing down to the surface. We did use just a smidge of its fuel. That should be fine. Wasn't a whole lot of it. We should still be able to land and get this thing back up to the surface with fun gun in the next mission or in the next episode tomorrow. So for now, let's take a quick look over here, shall we? I'm gonna put this into a little better view, and I say over here, assuming you guys can see my list, which isn't the case. So I also have Outlast, which could be interesting. Let's see. Primal Carnage, that might be fun to play with Shroom. Proteus I just got. That's kind of an interesting one. I might just do a video for that. It's not so much of an episodic kind of game. It's more of a jump in, wander around, and enjoy yourself kind of game. No real objectives. You just kind of enjoy the world, and the things that are going on around you kind of create the soundtrack for the world, and that's really all the game is. Let's see. Quantum Conundrum might be interesting. What about... Wow, I don't have a whole lot. I do have Space-Based DF9. Last I played that, game was quite buggy. Things kept breaking on my station, and people were being dumb as far as the AI went. So that might have to wait a little bit before it gets a little more stable. We can jump into that one, though. Surgeon Simulator 2013. I do sort of want to do some videos on that, because I had fun playing that. I might go back and actually do some for the channel. Thief Gold, Thief 2, Thief Deadly Shadows, and the new Thief that's coming out soon. Oh, I love those games. Just love them. For the reals. For the reals. Have To the Moon, which is another good short one. I do have Walking Dead and Walking Dead Season 2. I do have Tomb Raider. I don't know how long that one is. Wonderful End of the World, which is a point-and-click adventure, right? No, that's the Whispered World, but I have that as well. The Wonderful End of the World seems different. I haven't played it yet. Anyway, I have a lot of games that we could play, and then I got a bunch of stuff on my Humble Bundles as well that, well, I guess most of that's been pushed over, but either way, guys, I'm babbling now. Drop it in the comments if you have any suggestions on what you might want to see me play soon. Quicker games are probably going to be the direction I'm going, at least for the meantime. Trying to get a few more things up on the channel for this new year. as opposed to just doing all these long ones like Assassin's Creed. So I hope you guys have some suggestions for me. I'd love to hear them. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers!